Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle and you've reached my channel, Farmgirldrygoods. I always feel so sheepish when I'm coming on here after such a long time. I'm so sorry, but I don't really have an excuse other than I really went months without crafting. We were just so busy. I was stitching before market, and then I came home from market and had a lot of pre-orders and kits to put together, and then what happened? Oh, and then my goats started having babies and they got my undivided attention. My biggest problem is that until I have about 5 does milking, a female goat is called a doe, I hand milk, and that does terrible things to the tendonitis in my wrist and forearms. And it was really painful. I tried to stitch and it was just too painful. I wish someone could remind me in the spring when I'm milking by hand that I really do love to milk and prefer to milk by machine. So once I dug out my machine, I was, it actually took me a while. I feel like I was out of the habit of crafting. So in July, I attended, because I needed to restart my Stitchy Bug, I attended the Buttermilk Basin Christmas in July retreat, and it was awesome. It was so amazing. I met some new friends there. We kind of get together. We don't kind of. I kind of. They get together and stitch every Wednesday at Buttermilk Basin, if you would like to join in. I have been there twice, I think, since July. So I don't get there very often, but I am going to make it a priority to get there once a month just to get me stitching. But I have some finishes. Don't worry, I'm going to show you everything on this table. This is just storage. So, I'm in the same space actually, and I'm even facing the same direction. I just had to move some things around behind me to make this very teeny tiny room. We have 100 and it's like 140. I don't even remember how old it is anymore. I think it's about 140-year-old farmhouse. And the rooms are very small. And except for the kitchen, the kitchen is the biggest room in the house, and it's just makes it difficult to find space. What else is new? I bred my first doe this morning. And I did it by artificial insemination. I haven't used artificial insemination in several years now. So I'm kind of nearing the end of my goat career. I feel like I still love it beyond anything, and I love my goats. I just don't have the time to dedicate to it and the shows. And I have a really, really beautiful herd that deserves for someone to take them for a spin in a show ring. So I'm not going to be selling out anytime soon, but I did cut way back. I just sold a third of my herd, and they went to a great home. They actually went to, as a registered starter herd for someone who's had goats for a long time. So it's super exciting. She's very excited. But I did my own artificial insemination this morning, and I bred Maya to Mo. So many of you remember my beloved buck that I had, Mo Effective. He's Noble Springs Mo Effective is his full registered name. We just call him Mo. And I bought him from Tennessee, Franklin, Tennessee, from Noble Springs Dairy out there when he was a 3-year-old, and I hauled him back and in the back of my truck with a topper on it. He was very smelly. I bought him in the fall, and bucks are very smelly in the fall when they go into rut. And then he died in 2020. I had him put to sleep because he was old and it was entering winter, and he was not fit for another winter. He was pretty old. Bucks only live to be about 10, and does can live to be 15. Going in and out of rut for them is very difficult. But in 2018, I actually had them collected, and I have my own semen tank. So I was able to put Mo on ice, and we took some off today. So that was pretty exciting. I also didn't really know the quality of the semen. It wasn't great, but there are some swimmers in there. I know this may be a little out there talking about goat semen on a cross stitch video, but I like to give you guys life updates, and I know a lot of you like to hear about what's going on here, and it's unusual and you don't see a lot of it. But anyways, cross your fingers for me that he settles. Malia is who I bred him to, so that'll be really exciting. And so but that means we're going to have babies in March, which is not that exciting. But I wanted to make sure that I bred her early enough that if it didn't take, I can breed her to another buck. Anyways, enough about goats. So I hope you guys have all been well. It's just been busy. Summer is always busy in the Midwest. You know, we are obsessive about our lawns and just hurry, 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 because we have such a short window to get things done before the snow falls. And going to that Buttermilk Basin retreat, Christmas in July, I've been stitching a lot of Christmas stuff, and it just makes me wish for snow. That sounds crazy, but I love the snow. It provides just like a blanket of peace, and it's just a time where if you live in an area where there's a lot of snow, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just like this calm comes over your world, and you can just settle in, not worry about outside things, and concentrate on home and being cozy. And I just love it. I love it. So I'm hoping that it snows any minute, but it could snow by the end of this month. I have a coffee here. I'm just tired. Favorite coffee mug from my friend Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher, and I'm wearing my favorite hoodie from MJ. She gifted this to me at a retreat. It's from Door County, Wisconsin. It's covered in stains and stuff, but I don't care. I love it. It's so cozy. And the weather has finally dropped. I love it. And I think that's all the life updates I have for you. So I'm going to get right into all the fun stitchy stuff I have for you. And let me figure out where to begin, grab some stuff, and we'll get started. Okay, I had to regroup a little bit so that I could reach the table, and I feel like this is a better angle to be able to show you things. So I want to talk a little bit about the Buttermilk Basin retreat, because you know me, I love wool applique. So it was a wool applique event, and we had 2 projects that everyone got. And then there were 3 projects that we got to choose one. So I'm going to show those to you. So the first one, this is kind of quilting, I guess, and wool applique combined, but it's just a super cute holiday pillow. I'm not sure if these are available or not on Buttermilk Basin. I would think that they are. I know they're not available to shops, but they may be available directly from Buttermilk Basin. So this is a holiday pillow. So that was option 1. Option 2 was Santa's mailbag. I don't know why I hear tapping. Hope you don't hear that. And then third one is holiday scenery bulb. Isn't that cute? And this is large. It's rather large. It's like dinner plate size almost. And then this guy is probably 12 inches or so. And these all were kitted. So I picked the mailbag, and then I did end up, we had the option to buy the other 2, so I did, and they were fantastic. The projects, I'll put a picture here of just kind of all the projects together. And then we were each given 2 other projects, and everyone just got those. That was part of the retreat. The first one was the scalloped oval Santa mat. This is so stinking cute. I finished that, and I finished the poinsettia needle book that we got. So lots of buttons. And then when you open it up, there's a little holly leaf with some buttons, and there's a little pocket here. And then on this side, this lifts up and you put your needles in there, and just some fun little accessories. Wool tends to pick up hair and fuzzies terribly. So disclaimer, I do have 3 dogs in the house and cats. So there's going to be hair on everything. And then I did finish the scalloped wool mat as well. We worked on these in class, and I got that done. This is, I would not say that this is beginner friendly if you're interested in, not that you can't do it, but it was a little tricky for me. There's some layering pieces here that kind of wrap around. So just make sure your thumb is going over, and There were some things in that made it a little bit more challenging. I actually think that this hair was supposed to be on top of his face and I tucked it under. Not a big deal at all. But he's so cute. And he came with a ton of buttons. And these are hand-dyed clay buttons from Just Another Button Company. And then the snowflakes. And there's a pretty poinsettia. And lots of fuzzies. But I'm looking forward to putting this out at Christmas. I really made a rule for myself a few years ago that I was going to stop buying like cheap decorations from Hobby Lobby and things, because what happens is I tend to like them for a few years, and because I got them on sale and they're so inexpensive, I seem to get bored with them quickly and move them to Goodwill. And it makes my husband crazy. I also made a project bag that went with my little needle book for some embroidery projects. And I showed you this last time. I haven't gotten much progress on it, so I won't show you again. But this is Christmas Bowlies is what's in my project bag by Kathy Schmitz, right? Kathy Schmitz, yes. And they're just little embroidery projects. I have kits of these. We've had to restock them several times, so it sounds like you guys are loving them. The kit comes with all the fabric as well to finish and all the floss to embroider. And so I need to start working, like giving this some real love. So I have that in a project bag on my short to-do list. So I've been doing some stitching as well, and I'm so excited to show you guys this because I'm like, I'm done. And it's not done. It's not done. I am notorious for missing little details. So I've been working on Jack's Bash, and this is by Plum Street Samplers. I've seen quite a few people working on this one. I started this a couple years ago. I went page by page, so I got exactly to the halfway mark. Left a bunch of threads, and this fall I picked it up again, finished page 3. Actually, it may have been last year too. And then I looked at it and I thought, this is, I had actually done all the over one verse already, so I really just had this little bit here to do, just on this side. And I thought, I need to get that done. That is so close. So I finished it, but you'll see I forgot. I need to go back and finish this little flower that's right here by his leg. So here, I'm missing it right here. But the colors, they're so pretty. Look at those pumpkins. I love it. I'm so sad that this is done because I really just look at those beautiful colors. It's so folly. I love the verse. It says, here in the ruffed and autumn bower, the knobby gourd and bitter flower, we merry make and sing hooray to our friend Jack on his birthday. I love that. It's so cute. Love it, Paulette. All right. So I'm going to finish that up tonight, hopefully, and get that done. My next project that's going to be my focus piece that I also love, you guys are probably so sick of seeing this, is, let me show you, it's Glendon Place Sleepy Hollow. I think it's amazing. And I haven't given this much love, but I'm stitching it on my own hand-dyed fabric. And I do have, I have a fabric dyeing tutorial on my channel, and I actually dyed this piece on it. It's shameful. I think that was 2017, 2018. That's how long ago I started this, but I love it. It's so neat. I always remember watching the movie Sleepy Hollow when I was a kid, and you know, there was a Johnny Depp version, and that's just what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Halloween as a teenager. There's a lot of backstitch that I've been backstitching as I go in the tree. I don't think I've done any on the horse, but I have done the pumpkin head. So I would like to give this some love. I'm so sick of it sitting in this project bag. One of the things that has me stalled on is there's a lot of beading. And I haven't really beaded since like 1990 something. And quite frankly, I wasn't great at beading. My beads always end up loose. So I need to probably read a little bit about like how to properly secure a bead, and then maybe I'll have more confidence to tackle it. Okay, so I have some giveaways, and I want to do these before I forget about them, because I always, half the time I do videos, I think I'm going to save the giveaways till the end and they get set aside and I never show them. So I have brought a few things up for you guys. The first one is a Stacy Nash bundle. So you're going to get all of these charts. Actually, let's do 2 new and 2 older patterns. So number 1, and you can use the word friend in a sentence. To my friend, pin keep stack. This is so pretty. Aren't those so pretty? I love those. And the next one is Lydia Corker Sampler Sewing Roll. There's that one. This looks like a reproduction. Okay, so if you're interested in these two, just type in the word friend. Then I have 2 of her recent releases. This is Big Chicken, Little Chicken Pin Keep. So cute. I love that finish. And you can see here the border is also stitched all around. These are new. I got these from the fall needlework market. And then this is Farm Market Pin Keep. I've seen some other pictures of this, and this just does not do it justice. It's so pretty. And then here's the picture on the back. Very pretty. So for this one, let's use chicken in a sentence. I have quite a few giveaways, which is why I didn't want to forget. Then the next one I have, I love these so much. These are by Milk Thread Designs. I'm trying to think of what I want you to say. Use the word milk in a sentence. And these are thread keeps. They're so cute. They come on a little ring. They have a little hole here for you to put your floss on. And they're like vintage milk bottle caps with all of them have a different design, and they're all Christmas themed. They have a cute little charm, and I think they have a charm on it that says Thread Milk Designs as well. I met Lori at Market last year, and she is lovely, and I totally loved her booth. I bought quite a bit of stuff there. Then I have, this is a quilt kit with a tiny bit of wool applique, and this is called Inch by Inch. It's Jack, the Inch by Inch collection. So these are like little 1.5 inch blocks. It's a small project though. I'm watching Titan is by himself now. I had another little buck kid with him that I sold, but he is hopping around the pen. They're enjoying the weather today. It's 50 degrees and it's really sunny and just nice and cool. And it's actually like perfect temperature for them. Okay, so Jack, and it comes with the kit comes with all the fabric and wool, and even has the 2 buttons you need for this guy's eyes. So use Jack in a sentence for that one. And then my last one, this is Mr. Crow's Pumpkin. If you're interested in this one, you can just, and you can enter for all of them. You just need to use all. I love when you guys get creative. You guys crack me up. How funny your sentences are. I love it. I appreciate it so much. But this one is Mr. Crow's Pumpkin. You can just use crow in a sentence. And I'm going to show you this one. But I completed this kit, and so you can see what yours look like. I have framed it just in a standard 16 by 20 frame from Hobby Lobby. So I love that about this one. Okay. And here it is finished. I love hanging on this on my wall. I just pulled out all of my, like, I change out, I'm one of those crazy people. I change out all the artwork on my walls every season. So it goes from patriotic into fall, and then it'll go into Christmas, and then I have some like spring type stuff. But this is Mr. Crow's pumpkin. I love it. I really love this, the background wall. So pretty. Just makes that pumpkin pop. So that's that one. And then I also have another one. It's also a Buttermilk Basin. I'm not sure if I have kits for this anymore. I think it's called Faded Pumpkin and Crow. I'll put links. I promise you I will put links down below, because I'm not even going to post this video until I put the links in the description box this time. I hear you. I know. I'm so sorry. I tend to let my videos get posted and then just never get around to coming back to them. I get busy and just kind of forget about it, but I promise I will. And then, so this one is the Faded Pumpkin. So cute. So they hang in my entryway, kind of opposite sides of the hall, but kind of makes it look cohesive. They're in a little bit different frames, but I got both of the frames at Hobby Lobby. They just work really nicely together. I love taking out my fall stuff in the warm colors. All right. The other project that I've been working on is also a Buttermilk Basin. Let me show you. It's in this frame. So this is I think it's like a block of the month, but we get 2 blocks at a time. But it came in this, the club came with this amazing frame. I think the club is done or close to done, and I'm not sure if she has. I know she was out of these frames and couldn't get any more. I'm not sure if she has. You can always check the shop, but I got one of the last ones. I was one of the lucky ones. So this is September, and let's see. I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to grab the other patterns to show you as soon as I finish showing you these. And the nice thing about this is this frame just kind of slides in and out. And I just have mine sitting in here. And so I've just mounted it on some mat board very haphazardly. But nobody sees the back. And then I can just pop them in and out when the months change. And it just sits there so it stays just fine. It's a snug. I made sure it was a bit of a snug fit. So pretty. These are fairly easy projects. I got this one pretty much done in an evening. Once you get all, usually I do the tracing and fusing on one day, and then the next day I'll come back and start the stitching. And I just work well doing it that way. I tend to prep a few kits at a time because I don't necessarily love prepping. And then, I don't know if I have a picture of this one or not. I'll find it and put it in here for you. But this is October, so I want to get this one done tonight so I can get that in my frame since it's October. I'm going to try really hard to keep up with these. It's almost done. I just have, it's not almost done. That's a lie. I have quite a bit more stitching to do. I have some buttons to do. I have some straight stitching to do. I have a good start though. And then it's just done on this kind of heavyweight woven. So cute. And let me see if I can find a picture of the finish, because without eyes, it's just not as cute. Okay, let me show you the kits that came with it. So this is June's and July, August, and this one that I showed you is September. And then October, isn't that adorbs? And we have November, December, cute. And I think January is my favorite. And I'll give you one, guess why. It's my favorite color. So pretty. So I'm going to try my best to keep up with those. I shouldn't have any problems. Wool applique is much faster, quicker, and easier to get done. It's a great break if you have a really big project that you're working on, or you just need a break, because you can stop working on a project, whip out a wool applique project in a day or two, and then go back to your stitching. And it's just a nice break from having to count. Especially, I find it especially helpful to switch to wool applique when I'm getting frustrated with a cross stitch project. Like if I keep miscounting or something like that, then I'll switch to a wool applique and then come back to it. I have a bunch of fall finishes here. Not a bunch. I have a few fall finishes. I've shown a lot of these in the past. They were all in my fall finishes video. I think I did that last year. That was kind of a parade of my fall finishes, but they're so worth showing again. And I get messages a lot from people that comments a lot from people that are new followers. So hopefully some of you haven't seen these, but this is Brenda Gervais. This is With Thy Needle and Thread. It is, you know what? I don't remember the name of this one. I'm going to scroll it across the bottom here and then I'll link it as well. And I just popped it into this little 5x7 frame. It doesn't fit perfectly, but it's perfect to sit on a shelf. And I just think it's adorable. So I usually just put like some pumpkins. I have an entryway shelf and I put some pumpkins up there and kind of tuck this in. It's just cute. I'm really trying to use my cross stitch, do more like use them in little vignettes. I have a lot of pillow finishes, and so I'm trying to do some other finishes. But this looks great as a pillow as well. It'd look great as a flat fold. It's just super cute. So I did change out the a few colors due to availability. I think I did this house in Schneckley. I can't quite remember. I'm testing my memory here, but I love this. And then I'm heavy on the With Thy Needle and Thread because you guys know how much I love Brenda and her designs. This one is Grateful, Thankful, Blessed. I love that house. And I have all of my stuff, I've mentioned this several times, framed at Michael's. I have really good luck with them framing stuff. But I love this. I love her little dress with the little pumpkins. It's just so pretty. So pretty. And then this is Berry Days at Thistledown Farms. Berry Days at Thistledown Farms. I think that's right. If it's not, I'll put it across here. But this is just one of my favorite fall finishes. I just love it. It has a little strawberry that's kind of fallen out here. It's supposed to be tucked in a little bit more, but this thing gets a lot of use. It is a wooden drawer that looks like a book, and I do keep it chocked full with my stitchy stuff by my stitchy spot. And then I'm going to show you, but Henry, there's a little needle book that goes with it. Let me just grab it. I don't know why I'm showing this to you. It was so cute. It is not cute anymore, but there is a little tiny needle book. Henry got a hold of it. I need to restitch it, but it's so adorable. You get the gist of it before, you know, Henry got a hold of it. But it's got this little lady on the front, and it's got a bunch of, oh, how befitting, a dog and strawberries on the back. And then you opened it up and you kept your needles in there. And then it was tied with some twine. There was a needle that he bit right in half. This was several years ago, so he's fine. But, Henry, each of my dogs has chewed up one of my stitching things. I guess I'm glad it's just a small needle book that I can restitch pretty easily and finish pretty easily. My next project is a Prairie Schooler. It is from, I believe it's Harvest Time. I'm going to put everything down in the description box. This happens to be my husband's favorite piece that I've ever stitched. He loves it. I'm not sure why. I mean, it is ridiculously cute, but of all the things that I've stitched, it is one of my favorites too. So And this one, there are 3 charts in this book, and they're all kind of this long, skinny, kind of long, skinnier designs. And there's a witch with, I think she's got pumpkins around it, and then there's a turkey with leaves around it. It's got like a center motif, and then the rest is leaves around the turkey. And then I'm going to show you, because I actually I've stitched all of those. I stitched the witch as well. The witch would make a really cute silhouette if you just stitched it alone and popped it in a frame from that one. I'll put a picture of the chart here so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. So I just recently posted this on Instagram, and every time I show it or every time I post it on social media, I always get a lot of questions about it, and it's hard to recognize on its own, but here it is. So this is that turkey from the center, and mine is stitched on, I'm sure it's a 28 count Joblin, and it's stitched with 2 threads. So if you want it this big, you have to stitch it bigger, but it's glorious. And then I just popped it into a standard frame. Actually, I need to get a new frame. You can see my frame's kind of falling apart. And I spray painted this with some bronze spray paint. And it's just DMC, super easy to source. And it is adorable. Sorry about the glare there. So I really love this one. I love pulling it out every year. And I know a lot of you guys love it too, because I always get so many questions about it. But that's all it is. Sometimes I don't like stitching all the stuff around, and I will just stitch what I love about a project. And then this one is Autumn Alphabet. It is by Scarlet House, and it is finished on a black crackle board with kind of orange peeking through, and this is from Homestead Needleworks on Etsy. And she is April in Alabama. I think she's still April in Alabama on Instagram, but she's done a few boards for Tanya. And yeah, so check out her shop. I love that. She's got different size boards depending on what fabric you used, and I stitched this one on a 40 count, but I still left the margins probably a little bit bigger than I needed to, but I liked it like that, and with just the little hint of rickrack pointing out, but the finish is really beautiful. Just still get it. And then I just tied a little burlap bow on it. Nothing fancy. I do not have the gift for embellishing. I'm kind of a plain Jane that way. But I love it. And then I set mine on my nightstand in my bedroom. And I just have one of these cheap little things from Michael's, and it just sits in here like this. So that's how I work that out, so I don't have to hang it or anything. Okay, I'm kind of slowly working my way through the table back here, so I promise I'm going to get to everything. So my next finish was, this was released a few years ago. It's A Witch in Her Garden by With Thy Needle and Thread, and I stitched this one right away. And then it took me a while to sit down and finish it. I really have to be in the mood for finishing. The other thing is it could have been stuffed a little bit more. I stuffed it with sawdust and I ran out of sawdust. I thought I was going to have enough, but so it could definitely use a little bit more, but it's so cute. So you just seam it right here. And I did mine by sewing machine. Oh, I got a loose thread here. I don't want to pull that out until I investigate, so. And the little witch, and she's holding a little pumpkin. So cute. More little pumpkins. Just really adorable. And then you finish it with, this is finished with, I believe it's Bittersweet, and it's a Lady Dot Creates. And you just make it look like a little pumpkin on top, and this is a real pumpkin stem, and then the bottom is just finished with some linen. But it's just so cute and clever. While I'm thinking about it, I want to tell you a little bit about the velveteen versus velvet. So this is my own personal stash, which is why I just kind of have bits here. I use both Lady Dot Velveteen and Blackberry Primitives, which she's no longer dyeing velvet. She had a problem with her distributor, so she can't get the velvet anymore. So she has, and this came from Tanya, Blackberry Primitives, shared this with me. She's given it a lot of, she's just not going to dye it anymore, and she's given a lot of her recipes to Laura from Fiddlesticks. I'm very familiar with Laura, and I've ordered from Fiddlesticks long before I ever had my own online shop, so I was really happy to be able to carry her products as well. Okay, so the two pieces that I have, one is velvet and one is velveteen. So this is the Fiddlesticks and this is the Lady Dot. And they're both really beautiful. They're both hand dyed. And I'll just show you, there's not a lot of variegation on this particular piece, but I love how velvet just kind of gives you those different colors. But this one I believe is bittersweet. It's a really pretty orange. It's a little bit darker than what it's showing up for me just because it's got that kind of velvet sheen to it. So it is a little bit darker, but it's hard to capture on camera. And then this is Fiddlesticks, and this is velvet. You can see this big chunk out of here. And this is 100% organic cotton. And this has a little bit more modeling. There's a description on the website. If you don't like a lot of modeling, it'll tell you how much there is, which I love. And the reason I wanted to show you is the only real difference in these two are the pile. And I don't know if that's the correct term or not. I know that's like carpet, but I'll see if I can kind of capture that. The velvet is thicker and the velveteen is a little thinner. So I'm going to show you a couple finished items and give you kind of a side-by-side. They're both equally, they both have these cotton backings. And so they're both easy to work with. They are not color fast. So you don't want to wash them. They're not color fast. Just like a lot of hand-dyed stuff isn't. And so I have, this is velveteen and this is velvet. So you really can't tell the difference. I was really pleasantly surprised. I was a little bit nervous. This is Stacy Nash Velvet Carrot Needlebook, which is a new fall release. I still have a few kits, not many. And I expect it to sell out probably this week sometime. But I still have a few kits left. I have gotten everybody else's orders out. I just got the velvet restocked. I was a little bit short for the last kits. I don't think it affected anyone's patterns being late. I was still waiting on some other market orders. So these are in stock and ready to ship. But this is the velvet. And I was kind of concerned about how it would wrap and if it would be too thick. But it's really not. The pile on it doesn't really affect how flexible it is, which I was kind of surprised about. So it was easy, just as easy to work with as the velveteen. So whatever you use, it's just really more preference. I will say that the velvet is more primitive. That's all I can say about it. The nice thing is Stacy in her pattern directions gives some instructions on how to antique it. I did mine a little bit differently. So the pattern calls for, which was in the kits, that it was kitted with enough wool to finish it the way that she suggested. So you got a 4x7 inch piece of wool and you're supposed to cut it into 1 inch strips, I believe. I took one strip, folded it in half, cut it in half, and made these cuts into the wool almost to the bottom, not quite. And I just wanted mine a little shorter so they didn't get in my way all the time. And then I changed the way that it was finished. So I also finished the Turnup, which I'm going to show you shortly. So cute. And I finished mine the same way I finished the Turnup. And I took a little scrap piece of wool. So these aren't the instructions that are included. This is just kind of my own finishing rendition. And I put a vintage button on there. and I just cut a hole in the wool that fits around there. And then in Stacy's directions, she has you use one piece of mat board for each side. I used a really thin mat board that you can buy in big sheets at Hobby Lobby. And I wrapped the lining fabric and the backing fabric around their own board. And then, and I did use the cotton batting, 2 layers. And then I stitched together the sides. The nice thing about the velvet is that texture really hides your stitch as well, so you don't see it. But it's so cute. And then I also, because I used 2 pieces of cardboard, I was able to sandwich my little connecting piece in between there. So I'll try and show you. So it's in between those 2. So that was just a pretty easy adjustment. I did post a video on Patreon of how I finished the turnip, and I just finished the carrot in the exact same way, which is why I didn't post a second one. Let me show you the turnip. And the size, it's quite a bit bigger than you would think, but it's so cute. And then the turnip is smaller. So here's the turnip. Isn't that cute? You put little stitches on the front. Oh, the other thing in the directions, it says to distress your velvet if you want to. It was optional. I did with the turnip. So you can see my distressing there and there. In one spot, I distressed it quite a bit. So you can actually see it looks like really old worn velvet. And then I didn't distress the carrot at all. So you can kind of tell the difference. And I just used a blunt object and just kind of scraped on it, and it really distresses really nicely. So now I kind of understand why velvet doesn't last as long on like antiques and things. I have an antique velvet autograph book from like the very early 1900s. I mean, it is 125 years old, but the velvet is in rough shape. But let me finish showing you. So the leaves, you just cut. I used freezer paper and just traced around it and then ironed it to my wool, cut it out, and then that freezer paper just pulls away. I did the same thing. I tucked it in between my layers, and I did the same technique with that little joining piece and the extra piece of wool to fasten. I used another vintage button, and I just cut a hole in it. I do, and I would recommend, I do need to add a little fray check on there. Just be really light with the fray check, and you won't get those little fuzzies like that. And then you open it up, and this one has wool on the inside and the little bunny there. They're so cute. Well, so I think maybe this is a bunny and this is a hare, but they're both really adorable. So those are my fun finishes. So glad to have those done. These are really just super fun. If you haven't finished before, the finishing really isn't difficult. Just take your time. And I used a ladder stitch on the sides, and you just really can't see any of those stitches. I did the same for this one. And it'll look kind of odd until you get those stitched together, and then it just really pulls it in. And this is exactly what you're getting. I may have used just a scrap piece of fabric for this. Actually, I think this is the linen that came in the kit. I always pull my own threads, so some of my threads I know are substitutes. If I don't have it, I just try and use my personal stash as much as possible because I have enough of it, which is not a bad thing. Okay, so those are that. And then I have one more Stacy and Ash finish, and this was a market release from earlier this year in March. It is so beautiful. I can't wait to show you. So this is Sarah's sewing bag. And I think I have some kits left as well. I should mention, it came with a hand-dyed linen, but I stitched mine on a Zweigart like stock base. The color is flax. And I did that because the Zweigart, if you compare like a hand-dyed to like their stock just woven linens. This has a little bit more like stiffness to it, and it's not sizing because it doesn't really wear out as you're stitching it. It's really just it's got a bit of a different texture, and I just thought since I was doing a bag, I wanted a little bit more structure to the bag, so that's why I used it. And then it was not in the directions, but I also used a layer of quilt batting, and I just used a spray adhesive to my inside fabric. Because I used a different fabric, my fabric is going to be different than the one that you got in the kit. I can't remember. It was pretty. I'm not sure. I believe that it was a French General fabric that I put in. This is also a French General, but it was just a different color because this matched the bag so well. So the colors are gorgeous. So when you open it up and the button comes in the kit, the shank, I think you may have to pop it through the base. I don't remember if I did that yet. It may come with a different color ribbon. And I just tied mine in a bow, and I left this little loop here. It's kind of hard to see, but there is a loop here. There we go. So and stick my finger through it so that I could just wrap it around the button. And I just sandwiched my ribbon. I just folded it in half, put it in the seam, and sewed it right in. And then the back. Isn't that gorgeous? I made some changes here as well. I changed my roof color. My color was much lighter. I just wanted it to be quite a bit darker. I think actually it was supposed to be this color, and so I wanted it darker. And then I took browns and I added Havana and oilcloth. I can't remember if oilcloth was in here or not, but Havana and oilcloth, I'm pretty sure I added those colors, and I just randomly stitched bricks in all the different kind of tans that came with this, with the addition of just those two. So if you like that, that's how I did that. Otherwise, oh, and I just moved the doorknob up and I put these 4 stitches in, but otherwise it's all stitched as the pattern suggests. Oh, I see I missed a stitch there on the steps. I always miss something, but it's so pretty. So pretty. I love it. I know I give lengthy explanations sometimes, but I know some people like to hear those things, so that's why I do it. I also just recently went to my friend Lori, Textilist, here on YouTube, and she has a big birthday coming up, so a few of us gathered around to help her celebrate, and we just had a really wonderful time. We really didn't do all that much. We just enjoyed each other's company. We stitched. There were days we didn't get out of our pajamas. We were there. I think I flew in on Wednesday and we left on Sunday. So it was just, there was lots of shenanigans. I'm sure you saw some on Instagram. They're so fun to hang out with. But Marcy, I wanted to share some of the things that we did and some of the generous gifts. Marcy brought us each one of these amazing tomato pincushions. Isn't it just fabulous? It's huge. And it had these pins in it, and it is made from vintage velvet. And I believe it's her cousin, Denise, made these for us. We've all met Denise as well. And it's just fabulous. So thank you, ladies. I love it so much. It's so fun. Isn't that awesome? It's like almost as big as my head. I love it. And then I brought a gift for Lori, or I meant to bring a gift for Lori. I forgot it because I wanted to show it on a YouTube video, and I didn't get my YouTube video filmed before I left, so it was not with my gift for her. So, but I'm going to show it to you now because it has to leave for Lori's house. So this is a little pincushion, and I did this as a Patreon kind of pincushion. I love pincushions. I'm so obsessed. I want to have a fantastic collection of them, so I'm working slowly on them. But this is actually a free pattern. Any of you can get it. I have probably a few kits left from the Patreon stitch along that we're doing. So if I do, I'll post that link below as well. But I'm going to post, because I cannot remember her channel name. I think it's Pay It Forward. And she has a tutorial, a video tutorial of how to put this together. Now I did mine a little bit differently because she's using a different kind of wool. She's using needle felted wool sheets, and I used a woven wool. So I just did a couple things differently, but you can do either, and her instructions will work for either. So it's not anything that I did differently because of the fabric that I use, so use either. If I have kits left, I'll put a link down as well too. But I use this little spool that came with my kit and some buttons. Did a little stitching and this ribbon. And I added these stitches, and then I used a real sewing machine needle. And this is so cute. It's a real quilt block on a quilt that I was working on. And so I stuck that under the needle. And there's also a little needle plate under there. It's so cute. So I'm going to make another one for myself, but this one will be heading to Lori's tomorrow. And then let me show you the quilt is this little cutie. This is a Primitive Gathering. Let me see here. Primitive Gathering Tiny Dancer. And I have these kits available as well. Love these colors. So pretty. So there's my finish. You would think that mini quilts will take you no time, but this one, I will say it is challenging, but if you just go slow and make sure your seam allowances are correct, you won't have any problems with it. And then I just did, you can kind of see it on the back, just a real simple cross hatching. And then this sits on my nightstand as well. And I really would like to do these in every color. So this will carry me through like fall, Christmas, and even through Valentine's Day. And I would love to do another one in blues. I'd like to do a fall one for next year with like oranges and blacks. Buttermilk Basin has it's just a small, there's only 14 fabrics in the collection, but it's called Autumn Spice, and they are small little prints, so it's just perfect for something like this. So I'd really like to do that one. But that one, it was a weekend project for sure. Like probably started it and finished it, started Saturday, finished Sunday. That's kind of what I try and do is work. I don't do a lot during the week because I get really wrapped up in what I'm doing. So I usually save it for the weekends, like sewing projects. I'll stitch through the week. But sewing projects, I tend to be a little obsessive with them and I don't want to put them down. So I just like think about what I'm going to prep all through the week. And then on like Wednesday, Thursday, I'll come upstairs, start prepping, maybe cutting my pieces in the evening, but no sewing until Friday night. That works well for me. Then I have a few more wool applique finishes to show you. I thought I'd show you real quick how I'm displaying my needle book. And I have this LaHaye's shaker box I got several years ago. It's got a handle here. And I just have some cute vintage stuff that I like. So I put my needle book in the back. I have another needle book that a friend made me. And a little gift bag that a friend gave me, and I have a vintage book and some thread keeps, and then I have my Turnup down here, my needle or my little pocket book, some vintage bingo cards. Oh, and then these are kind of cool. I think I've shown these in the past too, but I just love old stuff. I just love it. These are war ration books. I don't know where they came from. Well, they came from my mother's house, but I don't know if they actually belong to someone. I don't recognize any of the names, but they still have like the little ration coupons. Aren't we glad we don't live in a world where we're rationed anymore? And it even came in, this pouch is leather, and it says right on it, ration book. Yeah, boy. Gives you a different perspective about things for sure. Okay, so seeing that on a regular basis kind of reminds me to be grateful. Okay, and then I have a few other wool finishes that I want to show you. I mentioned when I got back from the Buttermilk Basin retreat that I was really into stitching Christmas stuff, and I had to stop. I'm a very seasonal stitcher, and I don't know why I didn't know why I always like stitching in season, but I definitely understand it more now. So when I'm stitching Christmas stuff out of season, it makes me think that snow is coming at any second. Like, it just really, really throws me off. So I did a bunch of Christmas stuff, and then I ended up putting it away and going back to fall so I could just kind of like reset my calendar. But before I did that, this is Heart and Hand, or Heart to Hand. And they are just some little bowl fillers, and it's called Merry Bowl Fillers. And I got those finished. So this took me, I prepped one evening. No, I didn't. I started it the same. So there's not much tracing. These are very simple pieces. Her patterns are laid out awesome. And they're big pieces, nothing small. So I cut them out and did all the stitching. I got 2 completely finished. I even hand stitched. They're just backed in black wool. And then I used a contrasting thread. And I thought I would be real cute and make kind of like a more primitive tree. It just didn't work. I wish I wouldn't have done that, but it is what it is now. I'm not pulling it out. And then it's pretty simple. They're just lazy daisies, some stem stitch and French knots, a few more French knots down here, and then just blanket stitched all these pieces down. So cute. And then there is an ornament. If you didn't want to do all of the French knots, you could do colonial knots, or you can use beads. For sure, beads would be cute. And then back to black wool again. And then the Santa is the third one. You just embroider his eyes. Pretty simple. So cute. And then he's just backed again. And then I really thought that I thought he would make such a cute ornament, but he's a little big for an ornament. So I shrunk it down. I just have a color copier. It is a color copier, but you don't need color copier, and you can resize things. You can scan it into your computer. There are apps for your phone. I use Cam Scanner a lot for my phone. It's just an app that you download, and it allows you to resize things. So I resized it to 50%, and that was a little too small. So I resized it, and at 30%, this is what I got. 30% reduced. So I guess the size is 70% of the original. And then I just changed his little hat. I didn't do the embroidery at the top there. And everything else. I used Lady Dot Snow Chenille on mine. That does not come in the kit. Just so you know. But aren't they cute? So you can definitely take your wool applique and resize it for different projects. I love the flexibility of that. It's kind of like, you know, when you cross stitch over one. But I actually did these. I mean, this took me just a couple of hours to finish, and I love it. He's so cute. So I'm just going to loop a hanger, and he'll hang on my tree. So I have kind of had a rule for myself. My next project is the Village of Hawk Run Hollow. I've shown this to you before too, and I love this. I'm definitely going to finish it. I'm stitching it on a 40 count vintage maple sugar. It's really pretty. And onto the halfway point, just a little beyond, I've got the border. There's 12 total. So this is a halfway point and just started the next block. I have made a rule for myself that I would not, I really, 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 really want to stitch Christmas at Hawthorne Hollow. The blocks are stunning. I love it. It's kind of very vintagey. It's got a very like just retro vibe to it that I love. And I think it's really cheerful. It's got ice skaters, which I love. And so I made this rule for myself that I wasn't even going to start that until I finished this one. And I think about it all the time. And every time I pull this one out, I think about it. So I'm just going to go ahead. I have a lot of fabric, so that's not a problem. I'm going to stitch it in DMC. So I'm going to make it a priority before I do my next video, which is definitely going to be before Christmas. And I'm going to start that one because that has been on my list for way too long. And you only live once. I'm 50. I'm on the, you know, the downward slope. So I got to get this stuff done. And making rules for myself like this tends to stall me. And is also one of the reasons why I haven't been stitching. I just had so many whips. And I've been working through them as I feel like stitching on them. And I have thrown in plenty of new stuff too, but I'm just not going to make any rules for myself. I'm just going to stitch what I want to stitch, and I really want to stitch that one. I'll put a picture of it up here so you can see how absolutely adorable if you're not familiar. And then another one that I really need to finish is Merry Old Soul. This is another With Thy Needle and Thread. He's so cute. And I'm doing this one with all the called for. I do not think that this is the called for linen. It doesn't look like it. Calls for a Weeks Dye Works gray, the old Confederate gray, but this doesn't look like that. It might be. But anyways, it's on 46 count. It's so small. It's so small, but I have been pushing through. I am almost done. I just have like some finishing things to do on the little stocking there. Like give them some eyes. And let's see, candy canes are finished. Oh, just the buttons down his front and his little sticky arms. Look at that. So that's all I have to do there. And then I just have some berries to fill in here. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and the snowflakes. There's some random snowflakes there. I've got a couple of them in. So that one is definitely going to be a finish for this year. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to finish it. I wonder if, I'll bet you it'll fit into a 4x6 frame. Probably not evenly, but I probably pop that in a frame too. So I can pop that in a little vignette. And then once I get that done, this is my Christmas bag. I just recently went through some of my stash and pulled out things that I really want to start. And I'm going to put them all in the same bag. So if I'm not feeling like working on Merry Old Soul, I can pull out this Burr. It's Cold Outside. I love that. It's really cheerful. And I love a berry bowl. I especially love a winter berry bowl with snowballs. So cute. It's got my favorite kind of tealy green colors in there. Drop my bag. And I have a couple kits too that I just need to get done. They're going to take no time at all. I mean, this is so easy breezy. Definitely going to finish that one and quickly. The companion piece to Merry Old Soul is Peppermint Pals. And I have that kitted up. I don't think I'm sold on this. This is some Lugana. I think I dyed this one myself. But I think I want to do something a little bit more of a true blue because I do love that kind of true blue. I don't know. Maybe that would be really cute. I'll have to test it out. And what else do I have in here? Oh, I have many. These are all threads. So I don't necessarily use the called for threads. Now this one has, it looks like a lot of the called for threads, and this one was a kit, so I have the threads there. But otherwise, I just take all of my Christmas threads from one Brenda Gervais project to the next, because it may not be the exact same color, but you get a lot more bang for your buck out of your threads, because you can definitely substitute, especially if you love a color palette. And you're not going to notice that you're using the same colors in every pattern, but that's kind of the way I do a lot of that. So I have these, I have these, which was, I think this was another Christmas project. I think this is all with I needle and thread in here. I also have a Winter's Day Visit. I love this so much. It's gorgeous. And this one also has the linen in it. I love that. This one looks bigger. It's on a 36 count. It looks huge after looking at that 46. But I think that'll be really cute. I already know exactly where I'm going to hang it. I have a little kind of primitive wall shelf that hangs kind of high in my entryway. And it's got little hooks on it. And I'm going to put them on one of those little hooks. And there's a basket hanging on the other side, so it'll be so cute. And then, so this one, I think I might start this one tonight. I really want to stitch this one. I mean, I've already stitched this one. I gave it away at a retreat. The finish was so stinking cute. It was really easy to finish. Just finishes in one of those little tiny paper mache boxes. It is Autumn in Baltimore. And I definitely want to stitch this again. I'm going to keep this out. I think I'm going to work on this tonight. I stitched this as an exchange at one of my retreats. And I just made a rule for myself. I stitched one of these little motifs a day. And that worked great for me. It is over one on 28 count. You don't need to do it that way. I'm wondering if you could get away. You know what else would be really cute? If you've stitched it larger over two and finished it on a bigger box. I'll have to do the math and see if that fits. But I'm going to stitch it on the smaller box. I love it. I think it's super adorable. I stitched the pillow and made the little pumpkin as well. And I hope whoever got that really, really loves it, because I'm glad I gave it away, but oh, I sure would like to have that every year. I was just going to see if there's a picture on the back, but there's not. So that is a must, must, must. I'm going to show that to you next time finished. I promise. It's been on my list for way too long. I think that was probably like 2017 or 2018 that I stitched that last. And I can't even tell you how many times I've been on here and have told you I'm going to stitch it again. So I'm going to. Okay. Some of my plans. Boy, I feel like I'm getting really close here. I have a couple vintage charts. You can find these still on eBay. I just typed in the title and then did a saved search, and it'll prompt eBay to send you an email when something is posted. Initially, I borrowed this from someone who was very kind to borrow it to me and didn't get it finished and had to send it back. I actually did get the little pillow finish, this cute little sheep. And this is from Too Fine Use, and I did the little pillow. But I really want to do this whole thing. I think this would be so cute, finished and framed. It's full coverage, but it's DMC, and there's some pretty large blocks of color, so I think it'd be okay. I also I used wool, this really beautiful merino wool for the sheet, and I will tell you, this is my favorite wool of all time to stitch with, and it is called Bella Lusso. It's 100% merino wool, and it's really, really nice. It's very soft. It's super soft and squishy. If you're a knitter, I mean, it's just like a washed pair of socks. It's just real nice and squishy. So I want to stitch that and put a little bowl. I know exactly where I'm going to put these. I'm going to put them behind my nightstand. And I also found another one called Prized Shorthorn. And so I want to stitch both of these, frame them on top of each other, and hang them on the wall in the same frame. Wouldn't that be cute? In a really dark frame. So cute. And these patterns are both by City Stitcher, and they are still producing patterns. You can still purchase some of their patterns, but not this one in particular, which is a real shame. So cute. So those are, I think that will be like an after Christmas type thing that I'm going to set to work on. This is all stuff, by the way, that these are like stitches that I've thought about for years. I've shown them on my videos many times, and I just really need to stop talking about them and start stitching them. That's a problem, isn't it? And then new stuff comes out, and it's so adorable. I have also been sewing a lot. I just took, about a month ago, I took 6 quilts to my quilter. They aren't all like full-size quilts. In fact, I think there was only one full-size quilt, a baby quilt, and then the rest. I actually have a couple of pillows that I finished piecing the fronts, and I'll put pictures of those up here. And I'm having her quilt it on one piece of fabric, and just for the pillow front, and then I'll finish them when I get them back from her. And oh, I've just been like really, I finally got the hang of the 1/4 inch presser foot on my Juki, so I've really had a good time putting things together. I'm going to put those in our bedroom as well. My next quilting project is this Buttermilk Basin pattern. So what I do is if there's something that I want to make, that's how I choose what to pick for my shop. I feel like a lot of you guys that shop with me have kind of the same aesthetic. And when I make color changes and things like that, I feel like you guys will like them because you share the same style. So this is a kit that I have available, and you can see I have altered the colors. This is one of Stacy's very old patterns. And so I just kind of brightened it up, and with these minty greens and these kind of brighter reds. And the back, it's also got just a little bit of wool for the candy cane. So cute. So the wool is in here, and then this is the backing fabric. I love this fabric with the trees. So I'll link this as well. There's just a couple buttons, and those are included. But this is just a 12 by 16 little wall hanging, and just cute to hang from the bottom of shelf or put over a door in a cabinet, which is actually probably what I'm going to do with it. But I should have that one. Ooh, I should stop making all these promises. It's on my list to finish for this Christmas. That's what I'll say. Another one, which I am going to have something from this pieced, maybe not finished, but this has also been on my radar for many years, and I'm just beside myself. I haven't done anything with these yet. So this is another one. It's Turkey Trot. It's by Sandy Gervais. It's Brenda Gervais' sister. And I kitted it up with all these beautiful fall colors. The buttons are for the turkey's eyes. And this is border fabric, I believe. So, and what I'm going to do with it, this thing is humongous. It is, let me tell you, you'll be shocked. 32 by 64. That's really big down a table. Like that would pretty much almost cover the top of my table, my dining room table. How else? You could use it on a buffet. That would be really cute. But I think what I'm going to do with it, because there's a lot of fabric in here, and I think I want to do pillows. I want to do some pillows for my living room couch. So I'm just going to do the turkey on the background as called for, and then just add some of these pieced borders and get it down to, I don't even know if I can. Oh yeah, I should be able to get it down to like a 20-inch pillow. We'll have to see. It might be just the turkey and then binding. We'll see how big that turkey ends up. But I'll keep you updated on that and kind of share with you any changes I make. But I think that is going to be super cute. I'm so excited. So this is my weekend project for this weekend. It's going on my cutting table as soon as I'm done here. So I'm so excited about that and to spend some time in my sewing room. So we're always working really hard to bring you guys new inventory, and I'm really working hard to bring you guys lots and lots of kits. So I wanted to show you. So if you ordered the Stacy Nash kit, darn it, I just realized that this is on top of the pattern. Is it? Yes. So it needs to get fixed and get put back. But this is what you get with the kit. So you'll get all the velvet, the linen, the velvet for the front and back, the linen to stitch on, the inside fabric, your wool, and all your threads. I just wanted to mention too, for those of you who have purchased the kit, there's just a length of the mascara in there. So it only uses, I think there's 5 squares in the whiskers. So I didn't want to make you pay for an entire skein to do 5 stitches. So I just added that. I'm not promising that I'm going to do that all the time, but if I catch it, I do try and do things like that to make these a little bit more economical. So other kits that we still have a few of is When Witches Go Riding. This is with a needle and thread. This one is available in 36 and 40 count. And, oh, and here is When Pumpkins Glow. So, and the kits, I always include rickrack if there's rickrack or finishing fabric. This one also has, you can see in the back here, there's finishing fabric, and I try and theme it. So this one's very autumnal. It's actually a Buttermilk Basin out of our new line. So other new fun stuff in the shop. I am now carrying Primrose Cottage stitches. I believe they have a YouTube channel here as well. I've ordered from them several times. They also are quilters and design quilts, and they do great like seasonal boxes with quilting projects. I'm not sure if they still do it, but I have purchased from them. They're designing cross stitch now. It's very kind of reminiscent of Lizzie Kate to me, but it is adorable. Welcome to the North Pole. I'd love to do this for my grandkids. I think it's so sweet. And their charts are really great. They are in color. Really well done. Highly, highly recommend. I love their stuff. And I also have, so the little bowl fillers here, the heart to hand bowl fillers. I know I don't have many of those left, but there is also this adorable snowman. This is my next project. I'm going to try and kit these up this weekend too. Oh, sorry for the terrible glare. Maybe we'll pull it out. But there's a little tree, a snowman, and another little tree. So cute. Okay, few more things on my stitchy wish list. These are projects that I think about when I'm not even stitching. Autumn Lane Stitchery. I love this. It's called Autumn Town. This was released a few years ago. This is very kind of reminiscent of kind of a modern Prairie Schooler to me. Sorry, I just had to make sure I'm in focus. But it's so pretty. It is full coverage. It's mostly DMC. It calls for 1 or 2 colors of Gloriana silk, but there is a conversion in there, a substitute, DMC substitute. But I am probably going to use just some cotton overdyed that has a lot of variegation, because you can see these kind of the fall colors in there. So pretty. This whole thing is adorable. I love that. Then for my Christmas stitching, this one has been on my list forever. This is Needles Notion, and it's Sampler Santa. And I believe that there's like a Mrs. Claus too. But look at his outfit. It's like a little colorwork sweater, little Fair Isle sweater with little reindeer. Isn't that adorable? I love this so much. And there are, I'll just show you a little bit. So like this is the arm. So it's a lot of stitching, but it's a lot of fill in. And you, there's great directions in here too. I have looked through the chart. And then you just attach the arms according to the directions. So that's kind of neat. Then I have some Kathy Barrick, 8 tiny reindeer. I love this. I really love it on the blue. Very cute. So I feel like that would be something that I would love to have hanging in my house. Also Kathy Barrick, Reindeer Games. I love this one. So pretty. And last one is Esther. Now I have 35 count Weeks Dye Works Honeysuckle. I don't know that I'm going to do it in that because I feel like the white is going to have a hard time showing up here. So I think I might do it on something more, maybe a little bit gold toned. And you know I'm going to change that sheep into a goat. And I think that'll be super cute. So that's my what's what. I don't have much more to say. I've been talking for almost an hour and a half, so I'm going to let you go. But I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And I promise I will be back before Christmas to show you the progress on all the things that I said I was going to do. Don't hold me to it, but I'm going to do my best. And I'll see you guys soon. It was so nice to see you again. Bye.